Welcome back to the World Championship Series, Season 1 for 2015.
You want to play those?
It's always fun working with Stefano, that's for sure. Welcome back. If you've missed any of the matches, well, luckily for you, we will have them on the video on demand. But here is how the bracket has shaped up this evening. We're on our 5th and final game of the night. 4GG already through to the round of 16, having won the group almost at a canter, but just a little slip up against FireCake, who now goes up against puCK in our final game. Apollo and Stefano at the desk right now. Last game of the day. And Stefano, stop it, Stefano.
I'm having too much fun on this desk.
Yeah, absolutely. Final game.
How could you think that would never work? There's a massive gap in between us, and your hand goes, "I'm not doing anything."
Yeah, last game of the day then. So puCK loses early on to FireCake. It was a bit of a stomp, frankly. How does he stop that becoming the same thing again the second time around?
When you lose a series against a player the first time, you can learn a lot from your mistakes and take those mistakes and put it into the second series. It's happened so many times over the years in so many different tournaments. I'm sure, have you ever had that? You've lost versus someone that come back and won?
You really learn a lot from the first games, because usually they will show everything on the first game because they want to get ahead straight away and be able to be in the winner bracket. And that's, I don't think FireCake showed everything he had, but obviously he changed a bit his play style because he needed to go straight away for the Swarm Horse, and he tried to be a bit unconventional for what he's used to play with Roach and Hydralisk and Mutalisk play. So, like, he doesn't have much left to do beside all-inning or going back to Swarm Horse. So puCK basically knows what's in FireCake's hands now.
Yeah, okay. We say that a lot. I mean, you've mentioned that we've seen it a lot. Koreans in particular are very good at this. We see it in the GSL all the time, and last year in WCS America and Europe, where they do lose that first one and then come back and absolutely stomp in the second one. Do you think FireCake has enough in his arsenal in terms of build orders, in terms of the way he can play, that he can kind of negate that?
Yes, I do. Because if you look at the way he won, it wasn't a specific, very fast, I don't know what's going to hit me strategy that won the game. It was a style that you can't go around and say, okay, this style won you the game. Like, style is something that is much larger than a specific strategy that you weren't prepared for. And he showed a very aggressive non-Swarm Host style that he can use again, which could still be effective. And then he went to Swarm Host in game number 2. Both of those aren't that type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And he also said in the interview that second game, he wasn't actually planning to go Swarm Host either. It was a kind of change mid-game. So he's shown that he can adapt as well.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot more to show in this series against puCK, as much as puCK would like not to think that.
Yeah, absolutely. And puCK, for his part, said already that he knew he didn't play the game, that he knows he can play in that first match. He was kind of getting used to things, crowd, lights, and what have you, getting comfortable. But he did say he was already starting to get comfortable by the time the second game started. It was only that it had gone too far for him to recover from that. After a win as well against Sen, he's got to be feeling quite confident now.
Yeah, he managed to. We were sitting upstairs having a drink, having a pizza. And we talked, and he was asking about this series, and he said, what did you think I did wrong? And I said, okay, well, don't tell me what you think, and I'll tell you what I think, and we'll see how that matches up. And what I said, he agreed with. He was assuming a lot, he wasn't scouting very much, and he now has a better feel for how this matchup should play out, which is going to assist him a lot coming into the second time.
Thoughts on FireCake so far?
I'm not sure about what Apollo says, because I think, like, puCK against Sen, he played like all-ins and he won basically, like nothing happened. And when he played against FireCake, he went into late game, and during the late game, he just got crushed, like he didn't manage to do single damage, right? He tried many things and nothing was working, and he kept being grabbed and getting...
Having said that, you and I have seen puCK play long game, and he's good, usually, in long games. So.
Yeah, but like the long game in the second game you're talking about more specifically, right? Yeah. He was so far behind from a 2-base all-in.
I know, but like once the Swarm Host position is settled, I felt like he didn't know what the answer was, because he tried to vote try, and that wasn't the correct answer. So he was basically lost. He didn't really know how to answer to that.
Did you not think he was limited in resources?
He was, but I think there was better choices than just going to void raise.
Well, let's hopefully see those better choices in this next series. Otherwise, if he doesn't make those choices, I will agree with you.
Okay, perfect.
Done.
You sure? I was enjoying that. That was good. That was feisty. Bit feisty in there. Lovely. Thank you very much, Apollo and Stefano. Let's over to the commentators now for our final game in Group E. Big game, this one, for both players. It is North America versus Europe for a bit of pride as well. Stop it, you two. Let's find out who advances to the round of 16.
All right, one last series here for Group E. And it's going to be a rematch as we have puCK and FireCake facing off against one another to figure out who is moving on alongside 4GG. And it's going to be Expedition Lost to start us off here. What do you think of this map on this matchup?
Not a big fan, you know, taking a third base very difficult, going for aggression as well. There is watchtowers that Zer can work with, good overlord placements. There is the backdoor that usually plays in your disfavor if you're a Protoss. So all of these are actually pretty good arguments on why it's not a very good map for Protoss. Then again, I'm sure that puCK should know better than me, and I hope for him that he does, because he's going to need a win here. This is the last chance.
Yeah, definitely. He's got to have something prepared. And then Valley Research Station makes its way through the vetoes again. Finally, Catalina will be our third map if we need it.
FireCake's big shocker.
Wow, what a surprise. But for now, Expedition Lost is something that puCK has to get over in that first game. We already saw FireCake bring out a pretty strong series against puCK in the first series that they played together.
Yeah. puCK has had a very strong game on Vanny against Sen with the 7 gates. And I'll be curious to see whether he chooses to try and repeat the same kind of style, or if he plays, you know, Apollo mentioned that, you know, puCK talked to him a little bit or something, and that he was saying that he got a little bit of a better feel of how to play. You know, he was playing without scouting before, kind of trying to guess what his opponent was going to do, whereas now he might just try to play solid and better overall. Like his last series from puCK was much better played than the first one that he had played. He dismantled Sen pretty nicely, so he might just choose to try to play, you know, a lot more of a standard game to try and just outdo his opponent.
All right, well, we're getting both of these players into the lobby now as FireCake has joined. Likewise, puCK seems that he has been commanded to join as well by our admin. Commanded, that's for sure. Graham's a feisty fellow over there with his beard. Overgrowth LE. But anyway, so these two facing off against one another. I think puCK comes in with a little bit more kind of confidence, a little bit more gusto here to this game. As if he goes for something aggressive, I get the feeling that FireCake could be able to shut it down. I think he plays in the mindset of, you know, trying to get those early roach runs out to shut down things like that. And I think he'd fare all right against it. The funny thing is that they both hail from two very, very different regions, America and obviously Europe. And these two players never really get a chance to face off against one another. So it's quite interesting in this season of WCS to see how that dynamic works between the two regions.
This is, I guess, Europe/France versus America or North America at its finest here, what we're seeing here. One of the rare occasions these two would ever meet. Did go for FireCake's way in the first series. We'll see how it goes in this time.
All right, well, we're getting on to Expedition Lost for game number 1. As we have these two final players in the group. This series will determine who moves through into the round of 16 alongside 4GG. As we are spawned down to the bottom left-hand corner, it is our red Zerg representing Punchline. It is FireCake. And up to the top right-hand corner are blue Protoss, representing Flipside Gaming. It is puCK.
During the break, I went to use the washroom and I ran into FireCake. We made eye contact and a conversation began. I asked him if he was worn out from the first game against 4G and if that's why he played a little bit more sloppy, and he said yes. And he seemed very upset with the fact of something that I didn't know, and that's that he had started a sport as natural originally inside of the mineral line. At the same time, he had started one in the main, but his drones blocked each other, and that sport never really actually started. That's why the Banshee kind of was the final nail in the coffin.
That makes a lot of sense.
Buried him and Reaperino, etc. So, yeah, didn't seem very happy with that. I asked him about his upcoming series against puCK, if he was confident. Seemed to still be confident. He did admit to me that he thought puCK was probably going to be, or would want to be, a lot more aggressive than the first time around when they played. And not try and basically let him reach the late game, because, I mean, he's proven how good he is in the late game with Swamos, with Vipers and all that. beat against Protoss all-terrain.
He's strong there, but now does that make puCK predictable in his choices, as he's going to head on down here, obviously get his Nexus up and running, going. But from there on out, this map is so prone to the idea of a two-base play here from Protoss. FireCake knows this. He's going to take precautionary measures. And then from there, puCK, even if he does try and play to the counterintuitive side of that and go for a third base, any units that FireCake would have made for a defense could try and poke up to the third base and deal with that.
FireCake told me he wouldn't be surprised if puCK went for something like a big two-base aggression with just one gas. So in this case, you know, something like a 7-gate once again, just like he did versus Sen. Which on this map, as you say, you know, two-base play will make a lot of sense. It's difficult to take a third base. So going for a two-base play at first, not necessarily even as an all-in, you know, you could transition as long as you don't have damage, could be a good idea.
Well, 7-net score is going to start at the front. Only one gas being taken here just now. puCK's going to go into that and get himself that warp gate tech up as soon as that cybernetic core finishes up. And on the other side of things, these Zerglings clearing out the idea of any probes around that third base so that you can get that third hatchery down nice and fast.
He's looking for the probe here, FireCake, knowing that, I mean, by now, every Zerg should know that puCK loves to hide that probe on the map, and that later on, when he goes for aggression, it's actually a deadly one to have that probe out there. Just one pylon is all it takes. Be able to reinforce quite easily into those aggressions and attacks that you're going to want to throw at the Zerg.
An interesting wall being created there by puCK at the front, just utilizing the assimilator in there to try and choke off these areas. And this probe's going to come down and finish that off with an extra pylon.
puCK hasn't spotted the third hatchery and third base so far. Place a probe in the wall.
Ooh, nice. Good block. Didn't want that getting in there and having a run around, seeing if it could spot any extra scouting information, because for now there's still only one gas. Second gas gets taken.
Yeah, okay.
Base.
He's not going to add 2 more gates or anything like that, which on this map would be actually very hard to scout. You know, it's very hard to get into the main and clear everything. And there was a stalker made from puCK, which is actually going to clear the center area in case there was any overlords that would be around here. So I guess FireCake, as much as he was expecting aggression, is definitely going to be happy when he realized that nothing's headed his way just yet, and that he's able to drone, at least for now.
And eventually he will spot that probe over on the right-hand side. Oh no, the Overlord stopped moving, actually. But
yeah, but
once
if that probe
moves,
was to move, like, it's never going to make a one pylon there and just stay there.
Yeah, he's almost guaranteed to actually make that pylon behind where the shrubbery little area is, and then he'll see the Overlord and be like, dope. But, oh well. 2 extra gateways, 4 is going to be added on as well.
Yeah. I wonder what this is for exactly. Like, usually you don't add 2 more gates like this unless you want to be minimum aggressive. Still, no pylon has started. And Mothership Core is moving across the map, but puCK did keep his Zealot in his wall back at home. And the Stalker in patrol, looking for the Overlord.
Well, with the extra gases going down at the natural, it could just be for a flurry of sentries to then eventually establish himself that third base.
He actually made the pylon on the bottom right-hand side, so this is a bit of a sand pylon where you keep it there, you warp in Zealots. Sometimes you wait until you have a very high amount of Zealots before you finally move out and go for the attack.
A lot of Lings in production here, 20 or so, with the Roach Swarm going down behind it, and speed will couple with this pretty nicely. There's a Robo facility. Did he actually get spotted or anything? I don't think so. Nope, it's way in the back.
Oh, the Overlord bottom right is going to get sniped by those Stalkers, but with the speed on the way, the amount of Lings that he has and Roaches, FireCake should be fine against this. There is a recall available, so puCK might be forced into recalling here, but not before killing at least 1 drone.
Yeah, looking to just get 1 or 2 here and there, and having to get back on out there.
puCK went for a Robo and 1 more gate behind this. I wonder if he's going to go for an Immortal push. Like, if he doesn't get any more, more gates, this is really starting to look like he might want to go for one of those.
Is the Robo a little bit later than usual, though?
Yeah, it's pretty late, actually. But I mean, as long as you can get 2 Immortals out quickly, and he starts an Observer.
Ooh.
So maybe not. Maybe he just wants to go for a third base. He's actually already getting a pylon down there. He's blocked by 2 Zerglings, that one base.
Yeah, we'll be able to spot.
FireCake going for Spores here. He's really, really paranoid. He thought it was going to be gateway aggression, and it was at first, but then he realized that puCK wasn't committing to this. He knows that there is a pylon down there. He's like, oh, what if you were going DTs? I don't want to die to it. I don't want to get tricked. I'm just going to get 1 Spore in each base, which is pretty costly. I mean, he's on 54 drones to 51 probes. Not only did he spend money on those spores, but he also used 3 drones to make those.
Do you think the Warp Prism +2 and then Blink can really get anything done here with almost exclusively gateway units, or is he just going to have to play this out long now that he's committed to the 3rd base?
He wants to play it for a longer game. He's just going to look for an opportunity to do some damage here and there, maybe with a sentry drop. This is typical puck. Back in the Hannah and Wings of Liberty days, he was already doing that. Unless FireCake really messes up, this really shouldn't do anything.
I like the little preparation wall there from puCK, just to make sure that these units wouldn't bust through and kill anything in the main too quickly.
Think, ideally, you would like to have 2 gates here, not 2 pylons and 1 gate to block this, because the pylons can get sniped very quickly.
Yeah, at least the sentries will be able to buy some time here whilst those cannons start on up, so that'll be okay.
Spire is starting, so by the look of things, FireCake wants to play this similarly to what he did last time that these two played in the first game with some Mutas.
All right, and he sees the Warp Prism on this left-hand side as well. He was repositioning Zerglings briefly there to actually try and do something about that. And he has started his 4th base all the way over on the other side of the map. So if this plays out long, there is opportunity here for puCK to kind of pressure each side if he wants to. But at the same time, of course, we're going to see FireCake build up pretty quickly with the Spire on the way.
Whereas the Hallucinated Phoenixes, he needs to see that Spire as soon as possible. Remember what I said about the Spire not being spotted. Even though he's going Blink Stalkers, he did make an Immortal, which is going to be pretty useless against those. He's going to start sending, okay, double Hallucinated Phoenix. The quicker he sees this, the better here for puCK. And ideally, once you realize that this is what's happening, you place most of your Stalkers, I would say, at least 10 to 20 in your main to defend, in case the opponent flies in there or into the natural, and you leave the rest of your units plus the Mothership Core at the 3rd base, at which you put around, I would say, 3 cannons. Remember what happened last time, though? puCK lost patience too early, he moved out, and that's how he found himself in trouble. Now, the Spire wasn't seen yet.
Oh dear.
Double Hallucination wasn't enough. They flew inside of the Spore. So he's still getting a second Immortal, which is garbage against Mutas.
And a little bit of circling harass onto this 3rd base. Gets himself 2 probes, but not too much. Then once this army actually couples with each other, he's going to need a lot of Stalkers and Blink to actually shut that down. But there's not that many. And oh dear, there's the Infestation Pit on the way.
I'm actually surprised at the choice of going Immortals here. Even just 2, this is a pretty big investment. He could get 4 Stalkers instead of them, and they are bad against both Mutas and Swarmos, which are the 2 likely tech choices here out of FireCake. So now Mutas are going to fly into his main. He's totally not ready. puCK, if he recalls, those units of FireCake attack his 3rd base and wreck it.
Yeah, Stalkers get warped into the main, and there is a small engagement going on in the middle of the map. But
I think he recalls, but then he gets attacked on 3rd base.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to. Well, actually, the Stalkers did a good job of actually pushing that away.
Yeah, for now.
But they go straight to the 3rd base, and he actually recalls there instead. So a little bit of a sandwich situation. These Mutalisks can't really get too much done here at the natural. They're going to have to try and fly into the main and see if they can get much done. And he is repositioning the majority of his army on the left-hand side of this map to eventually try and pounce.
The real challenge on this map is the mobility here. The distance between the main and 3rd base is so large that if you stretch the toss apart, if you force him to keep some Stalkers inside of the main on natural, then you can just attack between that natural and 3rd base and try to force a really bad fight from the Polos and just win from there. But by the look of things, FireCake still wants to try to exploit that back door here. Fly around with the Mutas, maybe attack in 3 places at once. Could do okay, but not if he loses the Mutas carelessly like this.
Yeah, that's a big investment that he actually throws away there. But there are the Swarm Hosts on the way. They're about to pop 7 of them. We also have the extra Enduring Locusts on the way.
Yeah, there was only a small commitment to Mutas, by the way. He just made a few. He just made like what, 9? He lost 5 of them already, so he's down to 4. So at this point, puCK, it really looks like he's going to be able to max out. He's already on +2 attack upgrade. If he went for a timing very close to maxed out, he could do a lot of damage, maybe even kill his opponent, because FireCake is only on Lynx, Roaches, and he's finally just getting a few Swarmos, but he doesn't have enough yet to hold very strong attack. That could hit him.
And the 1-1, the upgrades that are coming out of FireCake here are the only upgrades he's really going to have on the board. There's not much more than that. So it's not like these units are super cost effective in how they're going to play this out. And puCK is taking a base up to the top left-hand corner. I think he feels a little bit comfortable compared to previous situations in this series.
FireCake went for a ton of Spine Crawlers in the main, by the way, already, just in case that backdoor was to be used by puCK, which was broken earlier. Must have lost quite a few games on ladder to be so paranoid about this.
Well, I mean, creep spread could arguably deny that if it was better up to that top left-hand side, but at least he has one Swarm Host spreading some of the Locust up there to always keep an eye on it.
That bottom right-hand side is vulnerable right now because there isn't that many Spines. There is a lot of them on the way. FireCake actually out of position. Might have to sack that. It'd be disastrous if it were the case.
Yeah, it could get a little bit tense. There's a lot of force fields available here for puCK as well to try and catch anything. But he already engages into some of these stalkers that blink back to the safety of extra ones. And
oh, the mothership core. Needs to bring that in.
And he could just force field this off.
Oh, they're across the map actually, so this can get sniped. Pure roaches and swarmos like this, you have so much mobility with blink stalkers, force fields, with the sentries and mothership core. You can literally get in there, force field around yourself and then recall. And in this case, FireCake is going to dispatch all of his links for that base, and that triggers an attack from puCK, who saw it with the observer that he had in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and he still has a lot of space control here, does puCK. He's going to blink forwards. The swarm hosts are here, but he doesn't think he has any detection. Doesn't have an observer with this army, so he needs to bring one from the middle of the map.
Yeah, it's on the way now, but it's quite far away right now. And the top left-hand side base should be defended here by puCK.
Oh, blinks forwards, lays a few force fields down. If he could get this hatchery, that would be a fantastic pickup, limiting his opponent to only 2 bases worth of income. And now a ton of desperation spine crawlers here for FireCake, because he's down a lot in supply, and he didn't even get the denial upon that base up to the top left.
It's really going to come down to those Vipers to try and make something happen for puCK, but it's for FireCake. But it's already fell so far behind. Double Colossus production and Storm almost finished. This is looking really bad for FireCake right now.
Yeah, puCK's played this one out well. He even, I mean, look how many extra stalkers he has back in his main base that are defending the back rocks. He has a lot of units available to him. Army supply is 125 against 86. If he can just break the small position that the swarm hosts have, somehow, some way, then he will absolutely demolish this army.
Not only that, I mean, FireCake, he has no crease thread. He's only mining out of 2 bases right now. His 3rd base on the left-hand side is going to finish, but puCK is in good enough a situation economically. I mean, even gets the infestation pit at this point. He's in good enough a situation economically to just basically max out with like 6 Colossi, get like a few Templars high on energy, attack, and only reinforce with Stalkers to support his Colossi and Templars and win the game from there.
And we already see puCK preparing for the idea of a longer game with that plus air weapons coming into play here. Even going for the shields as well, which will benefit everything.
Yeah, I really don't know why. I feel like he has a big enough lead that he could end it here. And this is similar to what we saw actually from 4GG in the, I guess, his last game that he played against FireCake, where puCK is really far ahead. But if he waits for too long, if he starts being really passive, he could let FireCake come back. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to do the same thing as 4GG, regroup, go for an attack, and end it.
Well, the Blink Stalkers are going to go in here. He's almost maxed out, so he can actually suicide a few of these. But will they really get much done? They grab themselves a queen. Going to go into the main and maybe get some workers. It's actually not that much mobile attack, but there's a lot of spines to deny all that. Oh,
I'm really worried for puCK because he's not moving across the map. He still has a ton of Stalkers and Colossi back at home, and it doesn't look like he has any plan to do anything with them really right now.
Gets the Spire. It's a nice start to kind of round this game out. Even moss in a few High Templars there.
Like, what he's doing right now would be right if he had like 1 or 2 War Prisms to play with. And actually 1 War Prism with some Templars you need to go for some Storm drops would be beautiful now. If you look at FireCake's economy, it's not that big.
Right, well, cleans that up at least. And that 3rd base on the left-hand side here for FireCake is getting into gear now. So he's keeping himself in it economically, with a 4th base arguably being added on down in the remnants of his previous 3rd base.
Yeah, these guys didn't want to blink out.
Well, the sentries would have been a bit stuck.
Oh, they could have gone from the right-hand side.
Yeah, they could have gone out the back, you're right.
Still warping in Stalkers here, puCK.
How many Swarm Hosts are we up at now? 24 with the 25th one being added on. Oh, just 24 here. So that's still a lot of firepower, but that's a lot of AoE damage from this army.
Yeah.
He could bust through.
It looks like puCK, you must have been watching Ray's stream, because this is what Rain likes to do a lot, you know, attacks in many places, sometimes with Blink Stalkers, sometimes with chunks of army as well. A blink on the right-hand side, there is enough for FireCake, which should mean that there should not be enough on the left-hand side to defend by itself, but there's so many spine crawlers. Ooh, some big feedbacks, but I think those were on the Vipers that had no energy.
The grab of the Archons, they didn't even fall in that engagement. One may end up falling there to a spine crawler, and they will do, but he's getting on top of a lot of the static defenses being added on before FireCake's properly ready, but at least the Locust will save him.
Why is he getting Void Rays? You need Tempest here.
He was doing that before, right? In the previous series.
Yeah, and it was awful.
Oh.
I really don't like it. I don't understand what Void Race achieve here.
Well, he seems stuck in his ways in that regard. So
How many
we'll see
Vipers
how
does FireCake make? These guys,
We're at 11
literally
this
his
time.
favorite unit. It's not Swarmhost.
Yeah, it's the Vipers, man. There's 11 this time, and it's going to be anti-static defense for a while in the middle. Even more Stargates are being added on, as well as a Dark Shrine, so that you can go for harassment elsewhere.
Usually, like if you have a lot of bases, so like this is 6 bases, you can go up to something like 7, I think, Stargates at most, not more than that.
A lot of feedbacks onto those Vipers, so it will drain their energy here for a bit, but they're just going to go back home and grasp some of those static defense positions as we
Fleet Beacon and Dark Shrine. How did those Spines lose so many hit points in the main of FireCake?
Vipers.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, like, how did they all lose the exact same amount of hit points? We see the first person of puCK here right now, trying to harass you, and they're gonna pick off Novus here. He's in a very good position economically. Like, look at this bank he's starting to build.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And going up against what we're seeing here from FireCake, he doesn't really have as much, but of course it is still the Swarm Host static defense ball that he's accumulating in the middle, and that will get bigger and bigger as time goes on. Real Mothership being morphed in.
Oh, Templars. 2 of them gonna die. Maybe an Archon as well.
And he sees the Real Mothership where it's morphing in, so if he actually seizes an opportunity, he could try and abduct that pretty quickly here.
Could pick off the hatchery and then pull back. He's gonna do just that.
Nice.
Tempest now starting as well. Time for that second Cybercore.
Locust streaming into this 5th base to do quite a bit.
Long distance mining from that left-hand side base.
Alright.
Did he kill it with his Vipers, or?
He must have done.
Nothing attacked it.
Yeah. I think he must have killed it with his
Vipers are deadly units.
Oh, he's pulled it. I thought this was going to happen. He knew the positioning of it. He forces the cancellation of it as well.
Cancel. He didn't have to.
Ooh,
He could have waited until more or even recalls. Come on,
At least he saves it.
Wait till the last second. Haven't you ever played Warcraft? You wait till the last second before your hero dies, then you TP. And that's how you lose games as well.
Well, Tempests are being mixed in now here, Todd. So you got your wish. It's a little bit more of a powerful air-based unit to mix into this kind of comp.
puCK needs to use more War Prisms. And just like before, FireCake's weak point here is his natural. Even the Hive took some damage from the Vipers. Man, those Vipers, they are mean little ones.
Yep.
If he was to fly in a War Prism with a bunch of Zealots in it into that base, warp in a few DTs, he will slice that down instantly, send in even some DTs to that right-hand side base that FireCake's retaking right now. Will do great for him. Abduct! Oh god. Or feedback at least.
Well, if I'm FireCake, I'm okay with that trade. That was nice, getting a few Colossi as well as High Templars in that. But you still got to be aware of the fact that there is an air transition amassing behind this, and Tempests in high numbers are going to be able to shred up these locations. As long as he adds some Oracles in, he's already got 1 out on the field, as he would love to have a little bit of extra range on those Tempests.
Nice cancel on gold base in middle here from some Stalkers, but it's going to get abducted. Look at puCK's main. 4 Stargates, double Robo, the Golden Armada is on its way. Golden Armada is here.
Oh yeah, it's going to do a lot. It's going to do a lot. But still, the 9 Vipers are constantly getting themselves the energy that they need. And they will continue to abduct anything that comes anywhere near them.
FireCake is really not ready for an air transition here. He's only now starting Zerflyer attacks level 2. Like ideally here you will be on 2 Spire and upgrading a lot. Snoot will definitely be on 2 Spire. Upgrading a ton, getting ready to start getting some Corruptors. FireCake, I think he needs to sack his Hydralisks and Roaches and get static defense everywhere so that he doesn't need to have like these kind of units on the ground.
There's not really even any information, and not only is he not defended, but he's not even seen really the strong transition into Tempests that he needs to spot.
I think he suspects it maybe a little bit because he's getting a ton of spores. Like he knows that there has to be an air transition in there.
That'll always help, but depending on whether or not those Oracles have good revelation positions and then are actually able to fire down on that. But he now sees the Tempest at the Locust at the front if he was paying full attention to that wave. 12
more drones here for FireCake, who if he starts mining from that gold base, he's going to get a lot of money and start building a bank.
So many spores in the middle now.
He has so much gas, FireCake. He could actually make a whole bunch of infestors here, which definitely could help, but maybe
dear.
are not the best against this composition.
And it begins. Those Tempests are going to start laying siege to this location. They have good vision on it. And unfortunately here for the Vipers, they don't have good vision on these Tempests. So they really need to get to the mothership.
But the revelation was massive. He gets a Viper.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. All right, well, slowly killing off these buildings, but actually not even that slowly. They are dying pretty rapidly because we're up to 17 Tempests here at the 30-minute mark.
Not bad. Against, what is it right now? 7 Corruptors only? Oh my god. That's gonna be tough. 1 Queen and on the map.
No, you need more transfusers than that.
Or even Injects. He's on 18 Larvas right now. If FireCake has to remake army, it's gonna be pretty tough.
All right, well, he loses the base up to the top left. The Dark Templars will go for the defense of that.
2-2 is gonna finish, but I mean, what does it really achieve against this army?
Not a whole lot. As long as he's keeping his High Templars, if he has some with him, in the cloak field, then he'll be totally fine.
Just trying to take the other gold.
He has to be very patient with his mothership core. Just very patient with his mothership even. Doesn't want that dragged out.
Might try to go for the abducts. FireCake's best chance is to wait for puCK to overextend, like stay there too long on the creep and close to this force, and wait until the revelation ends. He can't go in for as long as the revelation's up. He's gonna go for it anyway since he has a big wave of Locust. But if puCK does this well, he should be able to snipe some of these Vipers, which he's not right now. Okay, here we go, he got one.
Yeah, those were some good abducts. Some good abducts. The changeling, the one changeling that actually got through that was very, very useful to spot exactly where those were.
puCK has actually lost a lot more units in terms of resources lost. 10,000 already more. But remember Happy's games. Resources lost in this situation is not everything. Getting the ultimate death ball is going to be even more important.
Yeah, and if those Tempests continue to amass in number, it can get very, very tricky. But he's keeping a bit of supply free so that he can go for Zealot harassment, Dark Templar harassment, if he can find holes in the small points of this defense.
FireCake take the top left-hand side base. It's so funny how slowly he took all of the bases that the Protoss had originally, like the left-hand side middle. The crisp spread is definitely not brilliant, by the way. Definitely needs to work on that a lot more to have vision.
It's quite interesting to see how this map can be divided up also in 2 ways.
Yeah.
I wasn't really expecting it to end up divided in this manner, as FireCake has done well on that left, whilst we see puCK be doing well on the right because he really hasn't had any contention at all.
Once upon a time, FireCake had that bottom right-hand side base.
Yes, he did.
And now whose is it going to be? It's going to be puCK's.
Gonna be puCK's. All right, well, there you go. It's going to be the gold bases in the middle that are going to be highly contested, but that's probably going to go in the Zerg's favor for a little while until they keep getting sniped out by these Tempests.
It's actually okay to mix in some Void Race right now for puCK the way is because against they're going to help a lot against Corruptors.
Interesting. He's actually adding on extra tech to protect the idea of him losing it in the natural.
Yeah. He did that before. Does he still have...
He still has a Hydralisk Spire, an Infestation Pit, but...
What happened in FireCake's practice or later games for him to do that? He lost the Hydra then and then just died.
Well, continues to make sure that he's playing safe.
It's so funny that they exchange base so much like this. Like FireCake now has the top left and puCK's gonna have the bottom right.
Right, well, it still finds a little bit more room. Oh! Okay, well, you couldn't move underground, I guess, poor little Swarm Host, so you will die for your troubles. And where did the mothership go? Did it? Oh, okay, it's lagging behind. Mothership.
Standard mothership.
Come on. Hurry up. Hurry up.
Revelation.
But he'll
puCK needs to be careful.
Anyway.
Oh, the Colossus taking a bit of damage here.
Back under the cloak. The warm embrace of the mothership will protect you.
If puCK knew about that... he actually has Zealots at that 12 o'clock base. He could send them to the top left.
Okay.
That top left base has a few spines, but at 12 o'clock there is quite a few Zealots for puCK, which he forgot about. Could have just sent those 3-0 or even 3-3 Zealots. They slice down spine crawlers very quickly.
He doesn't have that much of a gas bank, does puCK, so when these trades continue on, FireCake could just get a load of Infestors out if he wanted to try and lock these units down.
Yeah, he's even behind in gas income right now, and by the look of things, FireCake should be able to get that other gold base in the middle of the map, which Oh, okay, those guys finally got to work. Not like those Hydralisks in the 4GG game.
Okay, well, our base up to the top left gets thoroughly harassed. This one down to the south gets thoroughly annihilated, and then the Zealots up to the top get thoroughly warped in to go and harass that base up to the top left again.
They want to go from round 2. There's actually a Hydralisk there. They're not on strike anymore, Kylars.
Good job.
They're ready for the defense.
And they better be, because those Zealots will come along and mash them into oblivion with +3 weapons if they don't move.
I can't believe puCK played it so passive. I really think he could have finished it so many times. He was maxed out against a 150 supply Zerg.
Yeah.
Surely, like Swarmos are good, but you can finish, even with Vipers.
I mean, you say that, Todd, but I remember you playing a lot and not really finishing games as fast as one would like.
Because my read of the game was pretty bad.
Okay. Oh,
and,
well, wow.
You know,
okay, fair play.
Us as observer, we see everything, but when you're in game, you don't know. And I think that's also why. Like, surely,
yeah, it's tough. If
puCK knew that he was maxed out and that there was only 150 supply for FireCake, of course he will attack and finish. It's easy to criticize as observer like this, but it's very hard. You need the greatest game sense to realize that during the game. Yeah, and that's why I was a terrible player, Kylars.
Oh, hey, no, I wasn't saying that. But you bring up a very good point. We can see everything. On the other side of here for puCK, he can only see half the map, so he doesn't thoroughly know everything going on right now. But at least he's getting some work done up to the top left with those Zealots. He's going to revelate once again in the middle. To get a few more.
FireCake is doing something that I really like, by the way. He's getting. Oh, well, not only is he doing some good abducts, he's actually getting 3 macro hatch in the main. I think because he realized that he has only 1 queen. He has only 1 queen for inject. So he says, you know what? I need lavas to remake army when I lose units, which is definitely not often. So he gets 3 more hatcheries in the main, 1 in this other base. And he's going to have quite a few lavas to work with. He's on 25 right now. That 1 queen, man. Much responsibility on her shoulders.
It's like,
wait, do Queen have shoulders?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they do. We've figured out the
shoulders.
Tiny, tiny shoulders for those little tiny arms, like a little T-Rex. Anyway, so these Tempests still find themselves good spots against this gold base, which can never really mine. It's going to be difficult to get too much mining going there. He did for a bit, but Tempests are going to situate themselves nicely to deny that.
It's funny to see that puCK right now is ahead in income, but this should change. Actually, there is a 1 DT at the lower gold base that he's waiting. He's waiting for his time.
Ooh.
He's waiting for his cue.
Patience.
52 workers to 52 right now. And FireCake is still being very cost effective with these abducts. 41,000 resources lost for puCK and 28,000 for FireCake. So not only they're going to split the map, FireCake is going to have both goals to work with. He's even sieging that bottom right-hand side base. FireCake is really not giving anything to puCK, and he's still going to start pulling very far ahead.
It's the tournament lives on the line again, so in this one last series. So really not surprised that they're just going to draw this out and take it to the very, very brink. If FireCake feels that this is his best opportunity to advance on, and if puCK does, then you've got to keep going. You just got to keep going at this speed.
Bye-bye, base.
Oh, getting flooded.
Oh, he's going to save it.
It's close!
Right before the taste slope.
Oh, well. Can you kill a taste slope with Tempests?
Of course.
Okay, so it doesn't run away from those. Well, it's not going to get the opportunity to run.
Okay, how does FireCake react? Does he counter push maybe, or does he still wait? I think he should still wait and make sure he can preserve all of his bases, especially those 2 gold bases. He's going to get so much money out of them. Look at this, puCK is not even maxed out. That's why he recalled here. He had to save that base. He had to. He's struggling to max out against a FireCake who's pretty damn rich.
Yeah, he's got no minerals anymore. FireCake has really turned the idea of this game around. Considering he was on 2 base against the 3 for quite a while. The Zealot's going to march into this gold base, though. They are pursued by some locusts that will shred them into oblivion. So, not much room there.
puCK's Tempest count has been greatly reduced, by the way. It's down to 14 for 10 Void Race, 4 High Templars below his mothership. We have 25 Corruptors and 6 Vipers for FireCake, who's doing a fantastic job of abducting all the time. The 6 Roaches, I don't know in this game. Definitely would be nice to suicide those, because they're taking 12 useless supply here.
And here we go with the good old carrier misclick. as puCK just grabbing the one. Could have been avoided. Whatever. The point is that he's still finding bases to kill, but the gold bases are slowly being taken by FireCake somehow, some way in the middle.
Mad props to puCK for pulling through these games and still giving us some fantastic observing. I don't think we've missed a thing.
No, not at all. We catch everything.
It's really smart to stay actually off creep like this and in I guess range to try and snipe those drones. Were they to try and mine? Here we go again. Abduct. He doesn't even go for the mothership because puCK is doing a very good job of keeping it behind his units. But as I say that, it was trailing behind here for a second.
He traded. Though.
He got some of the Vipers here again. It's a very, I guess, good thing to do to keep an eye on the Viper loss count because puCK in all of these, I guess, small fights is trying to snipe more and more Vipers every time. So right now we are at 12.
Yeah, but they're going to get replenished every single time. He has so much gas available to him. 6,000 gas, 6,000 minerals.
And this top left-hand side base is going to be retaken here. Out of FireCake, who's throwing down a ton of static defense at the base just below this one. So he could just move that to that one other base and make sure it's safe finally from those, gateway units attack, mostly Zealots and DTs.
Game paused.
puCK realized the other carrier he needs to use, so he's getting interceptors one at a time.
Guess he's gotta. Don't really want to sacrifice that for any particular reason. All right, so
puCK is broke, man. Especially in terms of gas. He has 33 gas. He cannot even start level 1 upgrades on the armor for his air units. And he's only on +2 attack, so never going to be able to get a +3 anytime soon.
Yeah, the armor helps out quite a bit against Corruptors with all the volleys that they're going to fire off when they get abducted into it.
Yeah.
But
you know what's funny? The income of FireCake is so low, but he's just not losing any units. That it doesn't even matter.
A Viper here, a Viper there, but it's very, very minute compared to what we see there from how much he has.
It's so funny, puCK tweeted actually a picture of army value in that one very long game of FireCake versus 4GG, and FireCake was like stuck at like a very high number and never went down. Whereas 4GG like slowly went down. A slow and painful death. This is how it happens. I wonder what the meaning of FireCake is, a nickname. How do you come up with this?
He had a very traumatic birthday party. That's the only thing I can think of.
You would pick it as, okay, James.
He went to blow the candles out and he just spontaneously combusted.
If that happened to you, would you nickname yourself FireCake?
Yes. Yes, I would. It'd be the most momentous moment of my life, and it has to be implemented somewhere. So
I guess. I can't believe you actually came up with a story like this and so fast too. It's almost as if you were prepared for this.
Well, I've thought about it in the past.
Yeah?
Yeah, why? What's he called? Like,
that's a bit disturbing.
What do you mean that's disturbing? I think about everyone's names. Like, why is he called puCK? He likes hockey. There you go. That's easy peasy. Why you called Todd? No clue.
Why you called Kailaris?
A mixture of Greek mythology and something else. I can't quite remember. Not Kael Thas from Warcraft. Not that.
Why, is that not cool enough for you?
Kael Thas was a bit of a whiner, so no.
And so are you. So
what?
Perfect.
Well, you should be ready because he's going to be added to Heroes of the Storm at some point. I promise you that. But anyway. All right.
We can't talk too much about the game. I mean, they have their headset off. So
exactly.
We need to fill a little bit.
So let's think more about people's nicknames. Apollo. It's pretty generic, pretty boring.
Taking jabs when he can't answer. That's low. Stefano. How do you come up with the nickname Stefano when your nickname is Ilyas Satori?
Nickname is Ilyas Satori. Real name is Ilyas Satori.
Real name.
I don't know, actually. I wonder why he did go for Stefano. That's interesting.
I always wondered as well.
Did you ask him ever?
I don't think he tells anyone.
Oh,
He's
mysterious.
that kind of guy.
Oh, okay. He's playing the mysterious card. All right, pause has ended. We can get back into it. It's a guy from Alien. Stefano? Oh, okay. That rings a bell.
And nobody else?
No, it rings a bell now.
I'm so jelly.
It definitely does ring a bell, though.
The abduct on the Oracle. So no revelation. And remember, puCK is broke on gas. He has no gas. He actually has just enough gas to remake one single Oracle, but if that one was to be abducted, he makes one as well. This is just a slow and painful death. That's all it is here for puCK. Why is he getting a second hive?
The same reason he got a second,
Which we don't know why.
And Spire and Infestation. Duh. Did he cancel it? I don't know if he cancelled it.
You get very feisty in those long games, James.
I do.
You have to make sure you cast all of them in future.
As I say, my mind melts at this point. So yeah, second hive is there. It's actually with the second Spire, Infestation Pit, and Hydralisk Den, just so you know. Just so you know.
Thanks.
It's alright. How are the Tempests doing? How are they doing? What's their day like?
Pretty bad, actually.
Yeah?
They're just shooting at Locust, and when they're not, they're getting abducted and dying.
Sad times.
I mean, once in a while, like you have to target the Vipers when the Zerg comes for you, but the thing is, you're trading Tempest for Vipers, which is not even the greatest of trades. Resources lost, 48k to 32k now. I love you, Funka. Every time I say something, he shows it instantly. It's almost as if I cloned myself and we were telepathically linked and I was observing myself, even though my observing would be bad.
Are you sure you guys weren't separated at birth? How old is he?
Much younger than me.
Okay.
More and more abducts. Oh, looking for the feedbacks here. Those Templars moved out of position. No, the carrier!
Not the carrier, no!
It goes down.
Okay, so...
FireCake is so rich that he could literally attack move and then... Same story as 4G, you know it. Remake Mutas or remake Corruptors and finish it.
Yeah. And a few more Roach is going to head on down to this base, do a little bit of harassment.
This is the worst. When there is no pylon to warp in a DT, which, by the way, doesn't have the gas for more than one. He has one DT actually at the Watchtower.
On now. He's actually replaced a lot of the Tempest with Void Rays. As the Void Ray number gets higher and the Tempest count gets lower, can he really continue this fight on?
Yeah, it's good to have a few Void Rays to make sure that if the Zerg attacks into you with the Corruptors, they crush them. But when you're only getting abducted and dying, it's not going to do anything in his favor.
No, not at all. FireCake's just going to press the issue over to these bases and start killing them off.
That top left-hand side base, he's going to die for the 12th time in this game.
Yeah, it's not having the best of time. But we're at 50 minutes.
Were a Nexus and 10 times the hatchery.
That's true. The trade is real. Oh, and puCK's going to take this base now for the gas down to the bottom because he realizes gas is quite important.
And that base, he takes it now, even though there is almost no minerals. He wants the gas this much.
Gas. Yeah.
It's going to be spotted by changelings immediately, and I'm pretty sure a few Swarmos are going to be tasked to snipe it. Actually, the Hydralists that were on strike on the left-hand side moved here for a second. A little bit of a tease here out of... Oh, here we go.
You got very excited about that for a moment, but yeah, that will get cleaned up. And Locust...
What else is there to be excited about, Kailaris?
Well, I
guess Nani was playing tomorrow.
That's true. That's true. That will be quite exciting, to say the least.
It's pretty massive for either of these players to make it out of this group, by the way. Like, Sen came into this group as... I don't think he was the dark horse at all. He did have some very difficult games and basically went out of the tournament, but now either of these players making it to the next round would be really huge for them, for their career.
Mothership was left very, very vulnerable there, but FireCake didn't pounce at the opportunity to grab it. It's 3-3 apiece there on the trades.
It's so funny how FireCake loses this top left-hand side base, and every time he says, all right, I'll try again.
I mean, he's got the minerals.
Yeah.
So why not?
Oh, actually, one DT is going to be sent there here in a second, as well as some Zealots on the top left-hand side. And there is Hydralisks ready with an Overshear, so those will just die instantly if they went there.
More Spore Crawlers get added on to reinforce the middle point. And, well, right now all these trades aren't really going in puCK's favor. Killing off all these Locusts in the middle, not really doing too much.
Yeah.
And he keeps having to drag these drones away from this gold base, but he's almost mined it out, and kudos to FireCake. I think I've said that line for the third time here in this in today, but being able to mine out that gold base in the middle whilst these Tempests loom is pretty impressive.
Maxed out army is 166 for puCK, 158 for FireCake. That's why FireCake cannot fight off creep, especially since he's against a full air army and he has a pretty good Swarmos count himself. Like in terms of, I guess if he really attacked into this and lost everything, there is maybe a way he could lose, even though the remax would be very, very strong. So needs to be careful.
All right, well, we're just waiting now to see how he's going to line up his assault plan, because
I don't think he has one.
No, he's just going to sit around for a while, gets himself an Archon, gets himself an Oracle. These trades are still better for him. He's just waiting for puCK to kill himself off.
I think right now, FireCake realized that there is no Oracle left. So he just has to wait for the revelation to end. If he goes before, he's going to start getting unit sniped. And then even if he trades, it's already kind of bad for him.
Oh, high tempo.
Oh, he was thinking about it. He's baiting. Kind of feels like, hey, look, pulls back. Okay, no, he's not actually baiting this time. He's going for it.
Straight too far forwards. Everything is revelated, but he's getting a lot of abducts onto some of these expensive units.
It's very hard to target the Vipers, by the way. He's doing a flower with his Corruptors. You can't target in middle of them. But quite a few Vipers died. He's down to 3s, whereas he had 9 before. 17 Vipers died in this game so far.
And now puCK feels that he's on top of the production and he can kill these 3 buildings off, or even the 4 buildings, but that's where the backup buildings come into play. Oh, he gets the mothership, but he recalls out very, very quickly. Good job.
Does he go for the fight? I don't think he can. There's too many Void Rays.
I guess he could
go
and then just replenish.
Almost some of these Void Rays. Hydralisks come to reinforce.
He's gone for it. He's gone for it. He's going to bring down a lot of this army, and even if he loses all of the Corruptors in this position, he'll still replenish very fast. 23 Hydralisks are actually being added on here to crush this location.
This army is stuck out on the map. The mothership.
He thinks that the replenishment...
The mothership is not rejoining this army, so there's not going to be a recall. I think right now puCK realized that there could be a big Hydralisk attack. Actually, I was going to say he's going to warp Zealots to reinforce, but no, it still wants that top left-hand side base.
That's a lot of Zealots.
Massive overkill here.
Really wants to kill this base for the 20th time, but now...
Trying to escape.
He's going to...
FireCake's not going to let it happen.
Fly away.
Ducked.
All right.
One Void Ray.
Well, that was a bit more anticlimactic than I was expecting, but... He got the tech, but again, the backup tech is real.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
The Void Ray count actually went down quite a bit here, so Corruptors could be made useful.
And as you mentioned,
nice corruption.
How do they escape now?
Yeah, it's going to be...
around.
Where's the mothership?
It's still in the main base. He's
on strike.
Left it. It's gone. Or she. Well, gets a roach warren down to the south here as well. And now he's going to go into the main base and try and kill off a little bit here.
Those Zealots, they wouldn't even be cost effective if they were traded against those Pine Quarters here. And they're even going to be sacrificed for those Hydralisks. Running out of minerals here. Not even really mining anymore, puCK, except on the right-hand side. FireCake only long-distance mining from that gold base. Hey, guess what? He lost his hive. So the backup hive is going to come in useful, maybe.
It's all the backup, man, is useful.
If he has to remake a unit from the hive, which he hasn't had, I mean, he already had the Spire hidden elsewhere.
Did he not lose Vipers or anything?
He lost some, but I guess, yeah. He had to remake some, but maybe before it was lost. Anyway.
Another straight engagement's coming again here, and he's going to lose a lot of these Void Rays, and then once they're gone, then the Vipers will be very vulnerable. And that's still a lot of Hydralisks on the ground. This trade is not going well for puCK, who is on the retreat.
And he's fully broke here. He's not even going to be able to restart too much behind this, getting 3 Void Rays at a time, getting chased down Corruption used on all of those Tempests.
They're going to fall, and even the extra Corruptors coming in for the assistance now. They cannot outrun these, and that is the majority of his army completely gone.
When FireCake reaches 20 Swamos, it kind of feels like you've lost already. Like these guys, they stayed alive the entire game and they did so much damage. They are sieging still. They've been there the entire game. Oh, he didn't have a backup spawning pool, so he has to remake one.
Oh,
come on, FireCake, you're better than that.
What an oversight. Well,
you're so silly.
You're going to recall out there. That was good following there.
Mothership, when I come back in action, maybe. One recall here.
Now these Hydralisks can do whatever they want. All these bases, they have no protection, they have no fortification, there's no static defense to protect puCK, as on the other side, FireCake has plenty of that. And all of these bases will fall, and that means all of the economy of puCK will fall.
Yeah, FireCake is like the professional at those games. You know, when there's a few minerals out on the map, when the map gets mined out, it's just his comfort zone, as we're about to enter the 1 hour minute mark, guys.
Yeah. Today is going to end just as we had the end happen in our previous series, previous group.
It's not even midnight yet. Are you kidding me?
Isn't it?
No.
Let's quickly check.
Still before me.
You are correct. It's 20 minutes off.
And the passion's still alive.
The passion is alive. But these Void Rays aren't alive anymore. GG. FireCake takes game number 1 here in this final best of 3 series. And after a pretty hazardous start, let's say, a pretty hazardous start. If you think about what we saw at the beginning of that game, FireCake took a lot of damage and then was able to stabilize from that point on.
If you're FireCake here, you're definitely pleased with the way this game ended, considering how it had started, man. It wasn't looking too good. 150 supply to a maxed out Protoss, usually you die. You just flat out die. He had some static defense here and there, but I really think that if puCK had attacked, he would have been able to make it work. Usually this kind of attack, you know, as I said, you have Colossus, you have Templars, you bring a War Prism, you storm, you let your Colossus maybe get abducted, not if you can avoid it, obviously. You kill as much as you can, and you reinforce with full Stalkers, and you break through. That's what happens. But it's not what happened in this game. puCK said too early, I wanted to transition into air, and he paid a high price for it with a loss.
All right, well, we're going to find out if he can come back after the commercial break, as we'll be going on to Valley Research Station. Join us afterwards for FireCake versus puCK. All right, welcome back to the World Championship Series here as we're going to get into game number 2 between puCK and FireCake. The countdown has already begun. It's going to be, Valley Research Station for our second game here. And no doubt this was FireCake's pick. Maybe.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Guess why?
Why?
Because he enjoyed that game versus 4G this much.
Oh, he loved it. We could see it.
Every second.
He was loving it. Relishing the idea of crushing 4GG in that first game. Sadly, the series didn't go quite that way. But now we're getting on to game number 2. This could be the last game of the night. If 4GG is... FireCake is to round this out here at the World Championship Series. Down to the bottom, it's our blue Protoss representing Flipside Tactics. It is puCK. And up to the north position, we have our red Zerg representing Punchline. It is FireCake. El Gato.
I really like the way puCK played the previous game early on. You know, he had a nice lead, but you know, he didn't flip the right switch and went into aggressive mode. See what I did there?
Yeah, that was okay. It wasn't quite as good as Sean's before, but it was fine.
Super duper, super duper.
Oh no, not that one.
That's gonna stick forever.
Well, do you feel that puCK has to, and I mean 110%, do something aggressive here and just kill him quick?
Not necessarily. Like pulling ahead the way he did in the previous game was nice, but just definitely finishing it with an attack would have been even better. On this map, if you have a superior army, but you feel like you can't attack at the front with everything against Swarmos, one of the good things that you could do is send a War Prism inside of the natural with lots of Zealots, like 4. You drop them, and then you warp in a lot of extra Zealots, and then you attack at the third base. If puCK was to find himself in a similar situation up against the FireCake, who, no matter what happens early on, as long as he doesn't die or doesn't finish the game himself before, he's always going to transition into Swarmos at some point.
Well, it's going to go Nexus versus puCK here to start things off on Vanny Research Station. Just playing it very, very greedy, but I can understand the reasoning behind it. I don't think he really expects FireCake to do anything too aggressive himself on the other side.
If FireCake had gone for something like an 8 pull, he would have done quite a bit of damage, I think, up against the puCK, who just seemingly always likes to go for a quick Nexus and Gateway and doesn't ever scout. You wouldn't have seen it coming. They would have gone up the ramp, then you build up to like 10 links. Behind this, you get drones, you get an expansion. FireCake in this case, though, just went for a regular pull into a hatchery on that other base that you can take rather than the safe one. He seems to really like to do that, to get his creep spread going and have that base already from early on. Not going to go for any gold base or anything like that.
Yeah, it's going to get that creep spread going very nicely. And it will help him out in the mid-game, moving towards that if we see a very, very similar game to how we saw before. The creep spread obviously always helping out the and enabling those swarm hosts very, very heavily. But what are you up to, Probe?
The same as always, Skylaris. Crouching probe, hidden pylon. Copyright, tasteless.
Well, if he's managing to pull off something with early aggression, that could be nice. These Zerglings are already getting in here and seeing a second gas being taken to start things off.
Spotting the second gas is nice. He was going to see it anyway with the Overlord. Otherwise, this could have triggered maybe a cancellation and a few gateways going down. Desperate times, Skylaris.
Call for desperate measures.
Damn right.
And right now, puCK has to be a little bit desperate in terms of strategies. He might have to go for something quite aggressive here because FireCake has already exhibited very, very strong mid to late game presence. As he hasn't taken any gases on the other side here as FireCake. He's not feeling too threatened at all just yet.
Yeah. What's puCK's plan here? Stargate, Twilight. Does he get a Sentry Plate Standard? Does he get a quick Robo? He's going to throw down a bunch of gateways around his natural. But I feel like there has to be something else. Why isn't he using his gas to get at least one Sentry? 3 gateways in total.
The problem is that...
Oh, that's why he wasn't using his gas or minerals.
Dun dun dun!
Even though he took double gas, he's only doing 2+2 on those assimilators. And he's gonna wanna go for, once again, or I guess for the first time, a 6 gateways. Because there is no 7th ones on the way.
That's true. Well, the probe on the left-hand side is going to be spotted pretty quickly here by an Overlord, which was already positioned well enough to figure this little guy out. So
the map presence of FireCake on the map has been really sick. The thing is, the Roach run is very late in this game.
Ooh, look at him.
Warp Gate is about to finish, and the additional gateways as well. So this could do quite a bit of damage if puCK went for it anyway. And he's already getting a Robo behind this. So if the initial aggression does damage and behind this he goes for an Immortal Push, he would have a good chance in this game.
The evasion of that probe was so cool because he showed it to the Overlord, he showed that it was going to be going up on the left-hand side, and then he looped back into this middle location. But the Zergling is going to spot him anyway, so whatever. Yeah,
and he starts a third base here, puCK, aborting the initial aggression. Instead, he's just going to go for the third base. A good thing actually that you could do, and there is actually a very big blind spot on the right-hand side for FireCake, is go for a sentry drop on that natural. And by natural, I mean like the indoor space that FireCake has, and double force field the ramp.
Yeah, cool.
Remember those Antigua Shipyard games? It was one of the go-to build on that map, where you could double force field the ramp and just kill that one base and or do a ton of damage.
Well,
Not many people remember. You have to have been playing for a long time to remember that.
I was going to say Antigua Shipyard. That was a long, long time ago. But I remember it as if it was yesterday. As we'll see now if puCK is going to be able to get this third base up and running. There's not really too much threat being posed by anything FireCake's doing. Doesn't really have much to his name. Doesn't have speed. Is morphing the layer in. Is just getting plenty of drones to get this 3-base saturation nicely running.
+1 is finally on the way here for puCK. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Twilight follow this up. And a Warp Prism being made here already. I wonder. Zealot drops or the sentry thing that I mentioned. FireCake very nicely, though. He knows that one of the weak points here of his base or just his game in general on this map is going to be the natural expansion, the indoors one that's very droppable. So he places some overlords around just below where he can spot what might hate for him. Infestation pits, 15 seconds in, 35 seconds from completion, 35 seconds from victory possibly for FireCake.
True, true. At least he's adding on the evolution chambers as well, so he can get those upgrades coming out. It's quite surprising how lackluster the creep spread has been, considering that he got that the natural outside onto the map. But
it's no secret, like FireCake is not one of the super fast Zergs. So that's definitely going to show in his creep spread. But somehow, he makes it work pretty well. He's very close to qualifying for the round of 16 here.
Yes, he is. One map away. puCK looking to stifle that progression, though, as he is moving out in an aggressive manner. 8 swarm hosts are about to pop, but they'll pop out probably just in time to greet this. Doesn't have an enduring locus with it.
The first wave is about to come out, Kailaris. The first 8 few chosen ones.
To run home with this game, potentially. As he moves forwards onto this left-hand side, he finds himself a good spot to start doing some damage, but he sees the first locus. Good force fields will deny that.
Yes, remember what I told you. When there is no Hydralisks to deny the Mothership Core to try and kill it, it's all about the Queens, but usually force fields can keep them away. And right now, puCK's trying to do as much damage as possible before a possible recall. We'll just pull back on foot as well, but I think he realized the potential that he has to do more and more damage. Needs to be careful, though. If he loses his Mothership Core, he's trapped here.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that many force fields left to his name, so the recall is going to have to be soon after about 10 seconds more, or even just now.
The Warp Prism.
Yeah, sticks around.
Actually did some quite good damage here.
Oh, he's going to try and get the infestation pit.
8 drones. Wow, from behind. There's some transfuses.
There's transfuses available. He shouldn't be able to get that.
In the meantime, though, puCK's macro wasn't the greatest. He starts his second Robo Bay. Blink, he's already almost finished, but no +2 started for puCK. He's delaying that a lot. Protosses like MC that start their +1 quickly, they finish +3 at like 14 minutes mark. Right now, +2 didn't even start here for puCK, so I guess because of all the aggression and the initial one not working, that's what it's come down to.
And unless this is going to be a very...
Transfuse!
He's going to lose the infestation pit. Ah! Well, they was trying to put a spine crawler behind it, but he didn't get a chance to, as that Warp Prism was still lurking around, adding another infestation pit. But he never even started the idea of the enduring locus, so it really needs to come out onto play here.
FireCake's being really paranoid right now. He really understands that puCK has been super aggressive and that if he wants to have a chance, he's going to have to stay alive in this game, so he throws down a lot of spine crawlers here on one of his expansion on the right-hand side and left-hand side as well, actually. He's gonna, by the look of things, you know, FireCake, he just wants to stay alive. He knows that if he reaches a later stage in the game, no matter what, no matter how far behind, as long as he has Vipers, his favorite unit, and Swarmos, his second favorite unit, he's gonna be fine.
There's tons of spines going up as well at these bases now to just start defending them from any kind of Warp Prism play that would come along.
Yeah, but, I mean, against upgraded Zealots, with charge and with possibly +3, which still... Oh my, he never even started +2. I thought he went for the +2 already.
Why did FireCake, with the play that he was going for, really never establish a fourth base? Because...
Oh, the sentry drop?
Oh, dear me. Oh, no. All right, that's it.
This is massive. This is actually
huge.
massive. Oh, the Warp Prism is going to get sniped.
Nice little move there to grab that, but it actually gets out. So he can continue to warp in some units, but he pulls it away. Even if he tries to warp in units, he pulls it away. It does cancel the warp in anyway, so...
FireCake needs to abduct all of the sentries, but he's out of energy on both of these Vipers, so he's going to try to get some from these Spine Crawlers, but his entire main is going to get sniped, and this time, puCK should be ahead enough to win no matter what.
He loses so much economy. Again, he never got that fourth base up and running. He's now trying to do it, but it's a little bit too late. As he's going to lose the main, he loses the drones here who are going for the fight on top of these Stalkers as well, pulling away some of these sentries to try and get through, but he lost a huge number of drones over at that natural.
Yeah, the drones being pulled here definitely going to help in holding all of those Stalkers, but behind this, it's all about the economy, and we have 71 probes to 45 drones. Needless to say, puCK is going to be able to remax quickly, but no, puCK, what are you doing? He starts a fleet beacon. You don't need mothership. You need to max out and attack.
Just go, just go. How many swarm hosts do we actually have?
Only 18. That's a very low number, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not that much. It's not that much. They can't really hold on, especially since they don't really have great upgrades. So Locusts don't necessarily chip through your army as quickly as they would like.
It's funny to say, but they are going to be more upgraded than the +1 units of puCK.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, that's 5 Colossi now entering the field.
puCK is doing this right. He's throwing down additional gateways in his main. So he's going to be able to go for a Warp Prism, possibly drop again somewhere and attack in another place with his main chunk of army. And look, he starts another Warp Prism. So I don't think that in this game he's going to want to look to be too passive, and he's going to want to finish it.
Well, some Zealots warping on the left-hand side. The Roaches are reacting, though, and should be able to save that base. In fact, the Zealots are just trying to try and get on out, but...
Where's their sentries around that gold base of puCK? Doing nothing. You need some strike everywhere, man.
Nobody really wanting to commit to a fully fledged all-out battle with all their units.
I don't like the choice of taking a 5th base here by puCK, by the way. What he really needs to do right now is max out and go for the attack before FireCake has too much, because we saw what happened last game.
Yeah.
This is a similar situation. This is actually even closer in terms of supply in this one. But in terms of tech, though, it's not. In terms of tech, puCK is doing a lot better, except for that +2, which came in very late.
Well, the Hive's morphing in once again. So he's going to try and get himself up to a few better upgrades here than we've seen before. And there goes the Warp Prism Harassment to do something up to the top here. But gets pulled out of the position and can't even warp anything in.
I wonder if this is still throwable by puCK, if that's even a word. I think it might be.
I think so.
But is he going to wait?
If he could,
is he going to press on? 4 High Templars with quite a bit of energy. 7 Colossi to wipe out these waves of Locust. And this time he has to Warp Prism with his army. So I remember what I told you. All he has to do is reinforce with lots of Stalkers. He's actually low on gas, so he's going to get some Zealots. All comes down to the feedback as well. If no updot goes down, this is a massive landslide win here for puCK.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to really kind of trump this army. Although, there go a few abducts, the 2 Colossi get dragged forward even further, and this is going to prompt him to leave. It's actually just going to prompt him to leave, I feel.
Yeah, pull back a little bit, but he can get that base on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's totally weak.
This was... I guess he doesn't know the Warp Prism behind this. I really think that puCK right now should send that Warp Prism to the natural of FireCake. That would be better, to warp in units there and at the same time keep on pressing that left-hand side base. But regardless of that, he's still doing okay in this game. He sniped that one base, but now all of a sudden, it's FireCake who's maxed out and puCK who's thrown away a lot of Colossus, which might trigger an air transition and a passive game.
Yeah. I mean, he had the fleet beacon to his in his arsenal, right? So he can transition pretty easily with the extra economy that he has behind this, but...
Those Vipers, man, they get so much energy from the buildings, and every time they trade that for very expensive Colossi.
Yeah, they just keep doing the business. The Vipers have been the real playmaker here for FireCake all day long. And they keep grabbing the very costly units here of puCK. There comes the mothership, though. And that one's way out of harm's reach, so not really going to be any abducts going on that before it goes down. Oop, I heard a Dark Templar.
Say hello to my little blade.
The Roaches will, and they're going to come along probably with an Overseer, so...
+2 finally completed here for puCK, who's adding on 8 more gateways. So I guess with the economy that he has, it makes sense to have this many. But if you really want to explode that, you need to use a Warp Prism. And right now on the top right-hand side, I think he's finally going for it. This is again the weak point. Only 3 spines is nothing. These Zealots are gonna cut him up instantly, and puCK finally doing what he really needs to be doing here with this big whopping. I guess he didn't have enough free supply. There is a lot of forces that are gonna clean this up. Ideally, maybe he should get rid of some of his stalkers, you know, blink them in the main, go for the attack in the main, at the same time whopping Zealots in that natural base. And also, being behind in upgrades the way he is a massive deal. If Zealots were like 3-1 or 3-2 right now, they would cut those roaches instantly. Like, it wouldn't even be a fair match.
Well, Todd, extra waves of drones have begun, so this might be to saturate this base, but it's even more likely to be all the, like, static defense to end up protecting in the middle.
FireCake just doesn't die.
No, he refuses, and the abducts just keep on happening time and time again. The Stalkers realize that this hive's pretty low and actually started doing a bit of damage to it.
puCK is already 5,000 resources behind into resources lost.
It could get really sticky again. He could actually just...
He needs to keep this up, like, because he has such a massive economy. But look at the economy of puCK all of a sudden. Oh my god, he could have gone for a sentry to force field the ramp here.
Yeah, that's a lot of Zealots. They don't have +3 just yet, that's on the way, but still +2 can hit like a truck here when the Zealots charge forwards, going for the engagement. Transfuse is trying to lay down on some of these queens as well as the spine crawlers, but a lot of them aren't going to be kept alive. They're caught between a rock and a hard place, and that hard place is a lot of Zealot blades.
Nice one.
It's okay.
Left-hand side base getting saturated here for FireCake, who's quite content with his hold so far. I mean, resources lost, 19,000 to 12,000.
It's
ridiculous. This guy just won't die.
Oh, he got away.
And he's transferring drones to the left-hand side base by the look of things. FireCake is mining out, though, and taking the next base. I guess he's going to aim for that one in the middle of the map right now, which is about to start.
And the Locusts have been spotted moving through the middle here. They also spot the army moving up to the left.
The Vipers, they don't have energy. This is actually a pretty big timing here to try and do some damage. Locusts by themselves shouldn't do too much against the cloak of the mothership.
That's an interesting theory. Just keep hitting and hitting and hitting until they have no opportunity to get abducts.
And Zealots in the natural this time finally are going to break it. Is he moving spines or making new ones? No, he's making new spines here. FireCake in the main base. That natural's pretty useless anyway. There wasn't much money left there.
No minerals left over for puCK here. He really needs to get his economy fully fledged over on the other side.
FireCake even trying to take the gold base. He's the only one with the bank in this game. And puCK is expanding slowly, by the way. Like, he took a long time to transfer probes to the newer base that he had in the middle. Just only now did it. You know what puCK could have done very well? Take that gold base on the left-hand side and mine it out before the Swarmos and Creep will reach it. That would have been so smart, actually, especially with the amount of units he's throwing away right now.
Earlier on in the game, yeah. I think that would be nice. But at the same time, this gold base up to the top right-hand corner here for FireCake is not going to be sticking around for much longer. This can easily be denied. Well, I mean, the Locusts are just too far out of the way, right, for it to even stick around. So, and the DT is doing some good work here.
Yeah. I have to remake that hatchery here, FireCake, who's run out of minerals in his natural before his main, interestingly enough, because that got sniped. Oh, the DTs! Okay, it was seen early enough. Surround on the spore.
They might still... Oh, no, okay, they weren't going to go straight.
Yeah, they're going to slice down some nice drones here.
Yeah, and then go for the gas guys, as Locust should be able to push that away.
So even though he has a quite decent bank build-up here, FireCake definitely needs to keep his upgrades going, especially in terms of air units. He's on 0-0. And he's going to need at least, you know, +1 Zerg flyer attacks, +2 Zerg flyer attacks with the Corruptors that he's getting to counter the Tempest, Mothership, and Colossus. As good of a job as he's done holding on, this is far from being a good position here, I think, for FireCake. Like, puCK can out-expand him very easily on the map. I don't know why he's not doing it right now. With taking at least that bottom left-hand side base. There we go.
The creep spread isn't very fully fledged. The Locusts don't have much opportunity.
The counter to air, though, is really not there in this game for FireCake. Like, there's really not much counter to air units. It's just a few Corruptors, 9, and a bunch of Vipers, 8. Always this massive amount of Vipers. I really haven't seen too many Zergs do that.
It buys him a lot of room. It's always a threat that poses great
threat
damage. Hey, I'm looking for other words.
Danger would have been one.
Well, Still cleaning up some of these Locust waves, and he
Whoa,
actually
whoa,
gets
whoa.
some nice feedbacks on some of these Vipers. Oh, gets a few of them.
The Templar melted mid-air. 4 more Vipers. What? Oh, he lost a bunch. Lost a bunch to feedbacks and snipes, so he wants to go back up to 8. Resources lost. 23,000 to 16,000.
Gets another Colossus. Trading away.
Yeah, that's a lot of Tempest.
And doesn't even get that Corruptor for that trade there for a second, so...
FireCake totally fine with taking it slow here.
Oh, yes.
Just not gonna take his time, probably gonna want to take this gold base on the right-hand side, which is being denied by DT now. Creek spread ever so slowly, but if he can reach that gold base on the left-hand side as well, that's double gold base, always gonna be nice in mining, you know, a lot of minerals quickly. He's the only one with the bank, like the entire game. Well, I guess puCK is starting to build a little bit of his own.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing okay. He saturated that middle base, got the base on the left-hand side, not quite really utilized that as much as he would like, but he's also starting his air weapon upgrades as well. So that will come into play pretty quickly here. Tempest having those air upgrades does increase the damage quite a bit.
He's actually going for it here, puCK. 127 army supply for puCK, 138 for FireCake.
I think
So many spores, by the way.
he could get this and just move out, but he'll lose a lot of units in the process because the Abducts are going straight into Locust as well as Spine Crawlers, so he's going to get this base and back off.
And this time he actually only lost 1 Viper for a lot of dead units here from puCK. So definitely worth it for FireCake, who did lose the hatchery, but I don't think he even cares. Resources lost, 10,000 more for puCK.
You can just position that hatchery again. That Templar gets cleaned up on the right.
What did he remake the hatch on natural?
Gas, maybe? How much is in the gas, guys?
Does he need gas? Like, look at his economy.
It's still nice.
960 and 780, come on. He didn't even make gases against 4GG for like 3k gas total.
Well, I guess he's learnt his lesson.
The Vipers are channeling, getting the energy.
And this base that was just added on is going to die.
The mineral actually bank of FireCake is pretty low, so he's gonna take the gold base on the left-hand side instead. He could actually move down a lot of his static defense with his Swamos to siege that middle base from puCK and force him into, you know, a bad situation. +2 Zerg flyer attack started, and he's doing that. He's moving down the static defense right now.
Yeah.
I think he wants to siege that base, which
Protect the gold as well.
he hasn't scouted yet, but he should know is there. Oh, that guy.
It always happens.
That guy.
It's so painful to play Zerg when this happens. It's annoying. You lose a swarm, and he's like, ah.
Kyle Harris on a Saturday night, just rushing into the club like a crazy man.
Oh yeah, that's definitely me. So he gets himself a cannon. This one's gonna. Oh, he is gonna burrow there. Why not? Start doing some damage.
puCK needs to get rid of. He still has 1 sentry, and he's using Guardian Shield even with it. It's not useful at this point in the game, I think.
Sacrifice that sentry, get something better.
Ooh, no revelation on these units. FireCake gonna go for more abducts. At least 1 on that. Okay, no, he's gonna go for more.
It's gonna go abduct a few more things. Anything he gets, it'd be a High Templar, it'd be a Colossus. It's just great.
9 Vipers alive still. He's just having fun at this point.
This is gonna play out just the same as we saw before, unless puCK has some answer, some mystical answer, which right now is upgrades and Void Rays. How many Tempests do we have? 17 again.
Yeah.
But that did not win him the game last time.
Yeah. You can have as many Tempests as you want. When you're getting abducted and there's not much you can do about it, you're still losing. But puCK's bank is very good this game. He needs to start to get rid of some probes, I think, though.
I think he had an alright bank last game, though, but it slowly got broken down, correct me if I'm wrong, so...
Yeah. But I think he needs to start sacrificing a lot of probes, maybe up to 20, because right now he's on 49. His maxed out army would be much bigger if he could just do that and sack some... Oh, did you see that warping of Templars? He's actually making Archons, which I'm not sure really are that useful here with this composition.
That's a lot of gas. A lot of gas.
Unless you're going to attack, like those Archons... They're not really going to be fighting. The only thing they're going to be doing is getting abducted and killed by these locusts.
Yeah.
The carrier misclick, Kyle Harris.
Oh, the carrier misclick. Oh. Comes out. Sorry, puCK, mate. Sorry. But
the gold base on the right-hand side is mined out now. He definitely needs to sack these probes.
He doesn't have much left to his name. It's... The Archons, yes, under the mothership, they have good wave clear, but when that happens there, and one of them dies, that's a lot of gas for just Locust. It's not a lovely trade for the Protoss.
Yeah.
At least he gets this base. At least he denies some mining. But
Lovely is the word.
It's not lovely. Not lovely, mate.
FireCake gonna try and retake the right-hand side gold base. I think he cares too much. One Muta starts. I guess he wants to kill that War Prism. Or?
Get it. Yeah, get the Warp Prism. Unless it's...
Abducts!
Oh! Okay, so he gets a few more Tempests. It's another nice trade.
Some feedback did hit here. I think he lost like 4 Vipers just now because he's down to 5.
But he has so much room to replenish them.
Yeah.
I think the gas...
If he lost 4 Vipers here and killed 2 Tempests, what else did he kill? This might have been worth it here for puCK.
I think the gas that it takes to replenish 1 or 2 Vipers when they get killed off in those engagements is better for FireCake to lose than the 4 Tempests that die. I feel.
I'm reading in between the lines here, and I agree with you. Vipers are way too cheap.
Oh, I see. Well, these Zealots didn't really get too much done in the main.
Is the misclick carrier going to change anything?
No.
I highly doubt it.
Is the misclick Muta going to do anything? Go and get a
misclick, man.
I know. It was for a Void Prism, but he didn't go and do his job, so...
Did he already have... Yeah, he had those roaches. FireCake actually was starting to try and retake that right-hand side gold base, but he can still be very patient about this. He's still mining from 2 bases. As puCK's income is so low. 200 mineral income, 500 gas income.
He moved the Muta there to the gold base to keep an eye on it.
It's so low for puCK, so low.
Yeah.
He's gonna run out of money. He has less bank and less income. He's not transferred the probes. He has so many idle probes.
I don't know what he aims to achieve with this composition, because it didn't work in the previous game, and I don't think it's gonna work here. The gas bank that we see for FireCake is just too much.
Muta is having a stare down with Dark Templar and the
you can't see him, so I mean... It's a pretty one-sided stare down.
Is it not a stare down then?
The Dark Templar turned his back to him, so...
Don't you turn your back on me! Oh, big revelation here. And sniping these oracles.
So
all FireCake has to do is fall back, wait for the revelation to end, and then we are back. He's back to his old tricks with the abducts.
Yeah.
Being undetected. Running out of minerals, running out of gas. Running out of time here, puCK.
The Mutalisk's on the move, on the right-hand side. I'm not sure where he's going, but you're right. He is running out of time.
The probe's still not doing anything for puCK at the gold base. They're idle. His entire stuff is getting abducted and killed. Resources lost 41k to 24k.
It's the same story as last game, Todd.
It keeps happening.
This composition is just not working. It's just not working. He's lost too much.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's the composition itself. I feel like it's the way he's using this army, the way he's keeping way too many probes alive, the way he's not even mining on the base that still have minerals.
So just a heightened army
mistakes.
count and... I mean, how do you trade into this army? What's the best way?
I feel like you need pure Tempest with a few Void Race and Mothership. You need no ground army at all.
No Storms, no Colossi. Well, I mean, if you don't have ground army, then it doesn't matter about the Locust, I guess.
Yeah, a few Templars. If you think about it. FireCake's army supply is 156. That's 24 Swamos. So that's a lot of army supply taking the Swamos that attack the ground. If puCK had the economy to... Oh, actually, nice recall.
Yeah, that's good.
puCK had the economy to lose a lot of probes, kill them off, and go for, say, maybe 180 army supply of pure air. Up against what? Something like 100 something anti-air units out of his opponents. He would have done really well if he had done something like that.
Yeah, potentially.
That's the way to play late game against Swamo Zerg, I think. So staying, like keeping this Colossi alive, they really didn't do anything for him anyway. They don't clean out these Locusts enough for them to be worth it. I think pure air is the way, really.
Well, some of that air is already still being brought down as he gets himself a Void Ray. And once these abducts continue to fly on forwards, as the Locust will buy himself plenty of time, you got to remember once again how this game started out. As we go into first-person view here of FireCake, to live it through FireCake's eyes, to live the Swarm Host and Viper.
Actually going to pull back from this, not choosing to sack his roaches. Where are the abducts, FireCake? Show them to us.
I want to see some abducts. I want to see them. Oh,
more static defense.
More static defense, yeah, of course.
Why not?
I want to see the abducts.
He can afford it.
He's going to send the Changeling forwards to see what he can see and then maybe go for the abducts.
Oh, he resaturated that base, actually.
And adding on the gas. Needs more bank. How much does he have at the moment? Yeah, 4,000.
4,000 gas, definitely nice to have in the bank, especially when puCK is totally broke in that regard. He has 400. That's 10 times less, Skylaris.
That is 10 times less. Good job.
Ooh, the abduct.
Ooh, guess a few of those.
Going for the mothership.
No, the carrier as well. Oh.
Sad boys.
Well.
More corruptors actually to replace some of those that he just lost. Carapace level 1 on the way here. Oh, big revelation, finally.
Yeah, but good pickup. He was able to jump.
That mothership is asking to die, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's on the edge of creep, always being spotted.
It's literally standing there with not that much shield. Actually, full shield, but low hit points. He recalls in panic.
Yeah, it doesn't want to be sitting around there for too long.
You know, base trade is actually a way you can play against this as well. Like warping in a lot of zealots across the map with the warp prism, the way he's doing it now, wiping out the entire main, maybe attacking, trying to be cost effective on the left hand side at the same time. But FireCake, he has kept some roaches alive the entire game. He has 7 of them in total, and he's going to send them back to the main to defend against the zealots.
And if
Siege is real.
If he died, that would be actually something nice to like replenish, even with the idea of mutalisks, and just kind of go somewhere else. But
puCK has way too many probes. 47, even though there is so few minerals and gas left on the map. It needs to suicide at least, I would say at least 15 to 20 of them. The abduct. That's one Void Ray.
Is that 2 Void Rays? That is 2 Void Rays. It looked like 1 for a moment, then I looked at the spinny little bit and it was a bit weird. So 2 Void Rays for the trade. And he's still losing units, and he doesn't have the gas to really replenish them.
Even FireCake on 40 drones, that's too much for the bank that he has. He could literally go down to 20 and be quite alright, but I don't think it matters because he's still very cost effective anyway. And definitely happy with his position here in this game. Gonna have to remake the spawning pole, didn't have a safety one this time. And again, the macro hatches. Because he knows that he doesn't have lava. How many queens is he on? 3. I guess that's a decent amount.
They're being aggressive, though. They're with the army to transfuse of buildings and things like that.
He has only 17 lava, so he hasn't been injecting. He's only been focusing on the micromanagement of those Vipers.
He's going to send them back, though, as that Zealot warp in is quite substantial. So wants to shut that down, keep these spine crawlers alive against it, whilst it tries to ravage up these locations.
Would you like to try and guess the resources loss difference?
20,000.
Wow, you saw it when I just checked it now, didn't you?
I saw it about
It's 22,000, Skylaris.
Oh, I saw it about 5 minutes ago, and it was 21,000 to 41,000. So I was going to stick with my initial.
Ooh, losing even a Templar here on top of that one Tempest and Colossus. Is that just so many? There should be a total units loss number. Oh, there is actually. The resources loss 299 to 249, except it's double the resources with 50k to 27.
Yeah. The Protoss unit's pretty expensive.
Do we nickname FireCake the cost-effective Zerg at this point, or what? The Viper Zerg?
That's too long a nickname. I may as well just call him by his actual name.
Oh, it's just 3 words.
The cost-effective Zerg.
Well, cost-effective Zerg.
It doesn't quite have a punch to it, does it?
Okay, what would have then? What would have a punch to it?
What would have a punch? Punchline Zerg.
Oh my god, you didn't do that.
What else am I gonna do? I don't know. No, I'm bad
the
at
patient Zerg.
Patient Zerg.
A lot of people are patient. He's more cost-effective than others. Viper Zerg. He loves Vipers.
The Vipers are good.
He makes more than most Zergs.
Oh, the mothership. Yeah, he has to recall out there. That position was a bit too scary. 22 Corruptors. How are their upgrades looking? 3-2, so they're pretty good.
He's missing an upgrade, yeah.
He's missing an upgrade. Oh.
Saturated both gases at the gold base now.
Still no armor on the air for puCK.
Yeah, puCK is so broke, man.
puCK. Yeah, he's not got much gas at all, and he keeps.
Those Zealots run by, they are the saddest thing because they don't even do anything anymore.
Yeah, they're not doing anything. He's losing his bank. The ever-increasing bank for Zerg is a real thing, and then as these two armies clash, I don't see a way for puCK to win. What is he going to do, Todd?
I'm not sure.
Give us the answer.
It will take FireCake to attack move into this army, lose everything, but then he will remake 60 mutas and win anyway, so... I really don't know here at this point. FireCake is even like... He's never gonna attack, let's be honest here. He's just gonna slowly press forward with the Chris Fred, with the Locust Waves. Probably even take that one base that puCK had earlier and that has been vacated around the middle of the map.
All right, well, he's going to move up to the top right. This is quite an ambitious move here for puCK. Yeah. Where's he going to go?
Might have to recall in panic here when he sees the Locust.
Yeah.
Afraid, he doesn't have any Revelation anymore. How many Oracles has he remade? No one. He needs Oracles out on the map. He's not even remaking one now. Oh, that was a decoy. Oh. The golden Nova, that was a decoy. Except Roaches and Queens are going to defend.
This was a very anticlimactic decoy there, Todd. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, Abducts into the spores. Even the Archons are dying here.
Are those some of the first storms we've seen, actually? I don't know.
Yeah, they barely hit.
Yeah. Well,
puCK is not even going to be maxed out.
He gets some static defense. The Void Rays are doing their job, but then the Mothership...
Oh, he gets it! Good luck replacing that with only 400 gas. He's going to have to spend all of his gas bank.
Yeah, and now nothing's cloaked, and now everything gets abducted. That's a lot of Void Rays, and every Corruptor can be replenished super easy.
puCK knows this is it. He's just going to wait until these last few units die, and this is going to be it.
And let's take a step back a second from what's actually going on the screen. And for a player in FireCake's position, winning this game, moving on to the round of 16 is a huge deal. Absolutely huge. Considering how things have gone in the previous WCSs for him, this is a huge change for him. So he is in the driving seat. He has the bank, he has the army, and he has the victory solidified.
Yeah, at this point, puCK knows that this is it. Just gonna try to make one last thing happen with the Stalkers. But yeah, FireCake, I don't think too many people would have predicted him to do so well in this group. I mean, even bringing it to 4GG, like,
yeah,
it was massive.
That was crazy stuff. And FireCake has done very well to persist through this group. As
the 52 minutes greatest Spire Killers, we're gonna see Broodlords, maybe.
Broodlord, Swarmhost, the best composition. If everything is for free, then nothing will die.
That was amazing.
It's a crazy comp. If you can get there, it's a crazy comp.
puCK, right now, he has to come to terms with the fact that he lost this game, and it's really tough. It's really, really tough. He had good openers in both games, played it too passively, and then paid the high price for it in both games, with FireCake just coming back. The cost-effective Zerg, man.
10k bank hype as FireCake hits that.
68k resources lost to 35k. If that's not cost-effective, I don't know what is, Kylars.
Pretty cost-effective. Yeah, these Stalkers probably not going to even up that score, but they're going to try. Is he going for some kind of base race? What is this?
Yeah, will be the last attempt at trying to win this game. This top right-hand side gold base was never taken, by the way. Or like not for more than 30 seconds. Got sniped every single time.
Did they blink out of Abduct? That was pretty cool.
Are you for real? Of course they blinked out of Abduct. That's one of the things that Blink Stalkers can do.
That's pretty cool. They can avoid all these projectiles. I know that for their other projectiles. Didn't really see the Abduct. There you go. I'm clutching at straws here, Todd. I'm clutching at straws. Oh, well. He's going to warp in a few more Stalkers to continue on this battle, in inverted commas.
It's crazy, the patience of this guy, actually. Like, does he not realize how far ahead he is? He could literally kill off of his own units and replace them, and that's it.
It's done.
puCK has lost patience himself.
He has, and all those Stalkers get chased up back, but he may as well retreat and resupply. Oh, he gets the Swarm Host. Ah! But he can easily just blink out and get to a more defensive position where he can warp in more Stalkers to keep on the aggression here.
They're going to escape.
Oh, they do. And he gets the drone that wanted to go for that base.
A game changer here, Calories.
Yeah, going for the base in the middle, but the Locusts are having none of that. None of that. Get out of town. As Stalkers looking for a way to win. Not even getting a queen. 20 Stalkers can't even beat a queen. What does that say about this game, Todd?
You tell me, Kylars.
Okay, I'll retreat out for now. Even the probe's going to retreat from that location because they realize it's probably not going to be defended.
Somebody tweeted at me, value Zerg.
Value, sir.
Or nickname.
That's all
Not
right.
bad.
That's pretty good, that is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Get these extractors. Limit some of that gas because he doesn't have enough. With 6,400.
There's enough money to remake that, don't worry.
Okay, okay.
Oh, he's cornered!
Oh, it's over. Oh, the abducts and the hydras and roaches to finish it off. He actually doesn't have that much on the ground that's going to pursue.
Come on.
Okay, yeah. And now he's really caught in a bit of a bad spot. He's probably going to lose this game here, is puCK. As these last remaining stalkers are all that's left. GG. FireCake takes it 2-0 and advances on to the round of 16. And again, all joking aside here and there, that was really good stuff from him to move on to the round of 16. It's a huge leap forwards for his career. puCK, on the other hand, unfortunately, will be eliminated here from WCS. As FireCake, got to be happy with those victories moving on. So congratulations to him. Definitely a very, very hard-fought victory overall across this whole group, I feel.
Yeah. Not the best of openers, fell behind, but through patience and hard work and a lot of abducts, climbed back his way into the game to clinch a 2-0 victory. Oh man, those games. Really, really tough for puCK here to lose like this. I've been there, and definitely not a nice thing.
Yeah, tough stuff there. Tough stuff for puCK to deal with. But FireCake, a big congratulations to him, as we were saying before. Again, moving on to the round 16 is a big deal, especially with the lineups that we have. And I really wasn't expecting him to take one of those round of 16 spots, but proving us wrong here, or me wrong at least, is very, very impressive stuff moving.
Zerg is doing really good. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're doing all right. They have 1, 2, 3, 6 or so, 6 members in the round of 16 so far.
6 out of 10? That's pretty insane. And tomorrow we have a group with 2 Protosses and 2 Zergs that are going to enter a bar. We'll see who comes out.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I'm looking forward to seeing Cyril play tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. He's a young Finnish phenom looking to rise through the ranks here in the European scene, and already did for the most part. But that pretty much does it from us here at the caster's desk. It's been a lot of fun bringing you these games. They've been drawn out at the very end, but some very, very strong defensive play there being exhibited by FireCake. And I'm sure we'll see more of that in the round of 16.
Oh, definitely. He's not going to change his style from there.
No, no.
He's still going to be the value Zerg forever, no matter what.
Apparently. All right, so we're done here at the caster's desk. A huge thanks for tuning in here. Let's head over to Paul to have some final words of the day.
Thank you very much, Kalaris and Todd in the commentary box at the end of the day. And a big congratulations to you, sir. Well done. A very formidable game that you took against puCK. It was a little bit drawn out at times in both of those matches, but I guess that doesn't bother you because you're quite happy with the longer games.
Yes, no. I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. But, I mean, I said the same thing to the guys yesterday, to Kane and to Pig. It doesn't matter how you win. The point is, you're at such a high level in the Premier League, whatever it takes to win, you'll do, right?
Yeah, sure, but long games are really exhausting. And after my match against for GG, after the first game, I was very, very tired. And I started to do many, many mistakes. So I wanted to end the game quickly, but it didn't end very well. And against puCK, I think my best way to win was to use my best style.
Sure.
And yes, it works pretty well.
It does indeed. So after winning your first game ever in the Premier League earlier tonight, you're now through to the round of 16 for the first time in your career.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I still can't believe it. I came here without many expectations. Yeah, try to do good games and let's see. But yeah, I'm really happy.
Okay, good. There was one question from Twitter, which I don't normally take because they're normally, weird questions. But there was one which genuinely said, "Are you the new Stefano?" That's quite a tall order, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't have the same. I'm not expressive like him. I'm a bit shy, so It's different, but I hope I can do as well as he did in Weeks of Liberty.
Okay, I know Sean's got a couple, couple of technical kind of questions, because we're very intrigued, weren't we, upstairs?
Yeah, just one technical question. When it comes to your control with Corruptors and Vipers, you seem to be very fast at abducting units, a lot faster than any other players. What's your secret? What is it? What's this little... what is it?
It's called Rapid Fire, I think. You can find on Team Liquid, there is a tutorial.
It's the same trick for the infested Terrans, but you use it with your Vipers?
Yeah, sure.
And so
it's very simple. You hold the hotkey for the grab. Yes, and and then then it will spam the spell like 100 times per second. So I can grab many units.
But it's very inaccurate too, right? It must be.
Yes, indeed. Like 1 year ago, it was really more effective, but they changed the AI of the Viper, and now it's a bit difficult to be precise because the Viper always changes its target because you send the order everywhere. And in the past, when one Viper decided to grab one unit, it was done and she can't grab another unit. So it's a bit harder now, but...
we were all very impressed upstairs when you were pulling those siege tanks against 4GG, and the blinding clouds were going down instantly as well. So it was kind of like, wow, okay, this is really fast. So that was nice. Good to know.
Yeah.
Very useful. Useful tactics.
Just that one.
It's not making me play a Zerg, though.
But
not switching.
Most Protoss use the same trick.
Okay.
When they feedback my unit, they feedback everything they see, they spam the hotkey with the same trick, the rapid fire, and you can see they feedback my overseers. That's why I make a lot of them. I stack overseer and vipers, and I hope they don't click on the good unit.
Okay, very interesting, very good. Thank you very much. Some nice technical stuff there, Sean. Thanks to Apollo and to Funker upstairs, of course, as well. And thank you to everyone that tuned in and came down here to the studio. Our congratulations go to 4GG and FireCake as they both make it through to the round of 16. That is it for this evening. We've got one more night of StarCraft II action coming tomorrow, though, so make sure you're here for the return of the King in the North. We'll see you then.